Hello, and that's a terrible way to start. I got to get a new start. This is HighCast, everybody. Worst start ever. HighCast is recorded at Highland FM, highlandfm.org.au. Do it. Join. It's fun. You can be me. The optimization tool, the HighCast optimization tool, is Bright Spenders. Bright Spenders is run out of a local lady out of Mittagong, who is helping you dream big and bring your dreams to life through money. Anthea's been helping me with getting my bank accounts in order, and I'm now working on budgeting. My God, I tell you, I didn't realize what my expenditure was and what I was doing with my cash, and getting it in order. It's been an experience. That's for sure. If you want to get your money in order to help you do what you want to do, go to brightspenders.com, brightspenders.com. Do it. I did. It's life-changing. It's fun. The HighCast event is Majors Meets far out. This is going to be a long day. Whew. Majors Meets Paddock to Plate Tour. I went out as the guest of John Major on one of his Paddock to Plate tours. It was so much fun. Taste some good food, see some animals in their native habitat, see them being butchered. It's really, really cool. And just see what life is supposed to be like. There is one on Saturday, the 23rd of June. It might already be booked out, so get in fast. Majors.com.au, that's maugers.com.au, and follow the links to the Paddock to Plate tour. Our guest today, Mr. Scott Inman. Scott is a Bowral local, a father, a passionate exerciser and triathlete, and he is incredibly nervous. The second guest in a row.
How you going, Dave?
Oh, there we go. I'm very well.
Good stuff.
You're warm now.
I'm warming up in here.
Yeah, it is. It does actually get quite warm in this studio. And then the pressure of the microphones in front of everybody, it adds to the intense heat of the HighCast experience.
Good stuff. Hey, just one point. Anthea Bright Spenders, look, I know Anthea, great business and great product. So I'd endorse what you just said. Really, really.
Did you use her at all? Or?
No, I work with her on a business.
Oh, really?
So, I've been working with her for a few months. But, the product she's got is great. So fully endorse her.
Yeah, I had her as a guest on the podcast, and she contacted me and said, I've got this thing I'd like to talk about. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Come on, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed. Like yourself, right? I spend time on my fitness and my health, and I think, I'm really focused. And then she talked about having focus on your money, and I'm terrible.
Yeah, she'll get you in check. So if nothing else, just have a chat with her and look at what she's got, and try and get your plans in order. She's got some great successes personally about paying off some of her debt, so she's wanting to share that with everybody else.
Yeah, and look, this isn't an ad. The whole program isn't an ad, but look, let's turn it into one. But yeah, I've found it. Although having said that, I spent many hours on the weekend, the long weekend, actually going through what my expenses are. And
scary.
Yeah, and just
how many coffees do I drink?
Yeah, and how much am I spending on fuel, transport, the whole lot, and I just had zero. Not zero idea.
Left.
I said to my wife, I have more that comes in that goes out, and that's all I ever cared about.
Yeah.
And but I've always wanted to buy a farm. And so I've got this dream that I want to buy a farm. And I said to Anthea, if I don't do this now, in 10 years' time I'll be saying, I want to buy a farm.
What if? Yeah.
And I don't want to be I want to do something. I don't want to be a goner.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I figured I've got to do things now.
Set a goal and work backwards from that, and break it down into small tasks. And
listen to this guy.
Mate, I'm all over it. Just like a triathlon.
Well, tell me. So Scott are you founder? What are you?
With the Highlands Triathlon Club. It started quite a few years ago with Barry Smith, I think.
Did he also start parkrun? The guy starts everything.
Yeah, he does. But going back, I think there was some interest a few years ago, but then it died off, and then more recently, in the last couple of years, there seems to be more of an interest. So, talking with Barry and myself, and then we've got a few other people around, and said, well, look, let's give it another go and see whether there's a level of interest there and there's an appetite for that type of club in the Highlands. So we put it out there and started talking to people at the parkrun and other athletes that are in the area, and decided, okay, let's give it another go, get it set up and see what the interest is. So we had this 90-day plan to get it started up.
Sorry, you had a 90-day plan to start.
For sure. You've got to apply the business principles. I'm a business coach. You've got to apply them.
Well, let's talk about that later. Business coach. Wow. So you had your 90-day plan.
So it is 90-day plan.
I got you off your track.
90-day plan. So really we wanted to look at whether there was an appetite for it. We got the logo set up, designed. We got uniforms and kits designed. And we decided, look, it's a not-for-profit organisation, clearly, but it's also about, not necessarily about winning, it's about getting everybody involved, from 5-year-olds up to nanas, running around and keeping fit. So it really is about a family good time.
That's if you could get that into like your mission statement or something, or your
8-second pitch
from 5-year-olds to nanas, that'll be that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it really is about having a good time. And just jumping ahead slightly, we set up an aquathon on a Friday night at the Bowral pool, and this was a short and long distance, so something like a 300-metre swim and then a 3K run. And we were expecting about six or eight people, and we got 60 people that turned
60?
up. 60. So absolutely
when was that?
Fantastic. So that ran from around January through till the close of the season, and the swimming pool close of the season. So that ran for about, I think there was 6 or 8 sessions, and absolutely fantastic turnout. And to see the kids and the nanas and the mums and the dads running up and down with excitement and smiles on their faces and crossing that finish line and trying to beat their own personal PB from the week before was just exhilarating. Really great feeling. Yeah,
that's really cool. So it is like is it free, or is it part of you that have to join the club and then? So
you join the club, which is $30 a year. It's hardly anything. As part of joining, you really should join Tri New South Wales, and then you're covered by insurance. And if you do that, then between the two, the club and the Tri New South Wales, then if you turn up to the aquathons on a Friday night in the summer season, then they're free. If you aren't a member of the club, then there is a fee, and that covers you for insurance. But in principle, it's all free of charge.
So tell me about the Tri New South Wales insurance part, because we do parkrun, right? And it's like if you hurt yourself, it's on. I shouldn't speculate, but if you go for a run normally, right, you hurt yourself, it's on you.
Yep.
Whereas I suppose if you put like a little fee towards being a member of Triathlon New South Wales or Tri New South Wales, you're then covered for insurance.
Yeah, so you pay, I think it's $160, $165 a year plus the $30 for the club. So you're talking just under $200.
It's not much, right?
But if you go out on a training ride with the club, or you go out running as part of a training session, then you're covered for insurance, and I think you're covered for public liability.
If you're on a bike, my gosh, okay.
And if you come off or you get hit by a car or something like that, then you are covered. There are other really benefits as well.
That is really, because I played football for many years, and the cost to play football is over $300 now for a season, and most of that is because insurance. And I remember I broke my leg 12, 15 years ago now, whatever it was, and some of it I got money back from the insurance.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah.
That those sort of things exist, because if you're, we're not young men anymore. We've got
speak for yourself.
We've got families to support, all that sort of stuff. You come off a bike, and you can't go
Yeah.
to work and all. And I don't want to talk about negative things, but I think it's really impressive that you can exercise and have
You got a safety net.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that is like I was thinking today. I have the unfortunate experience of ending up in the emergency ward every couple of years because of some of the stupid things that I do, mainly through exercise. So it is fantastic that you can do that. There you go. So 60 people turn up to these events.
So we had 60 people at the aquathon, which was, unbelievable, fantastic. Nobody really knew what they were doing, but after Barry is very good at articulating the course rules and the structure and what you need to do. So together, between him and me, we ran that, and brilliant. At the end of those 6 or 8 sessions that we had a barbecue with some prizes given away, and really it was a pilot. To see whether there was an appetite for this, see if it'd work, and what the response would be. So clearly, yes, there is. And over winter now, we're just about thinking about getting ready to start all the paperwork again and get ready for opening the pool in October and kick off with the aquathons again.
That is really cool, actually. I'm so glad that people in the Highlands do things like that, because it takes people like yourself and Barry to have the motivation to get off your bums and do things. And without people like yourself, none of us benefit.
Well, it's good. It's not just a personal goal or Barry's goal, but it's about getting your kids involved in sport. Or if you've had a few years off and you want to get back into it, then this is a non-intimidating way to get back into it. And if you're exercising as adults, it shows a really great example to your kids to continue that through life.
So is that part of the mission statement too, or?
Yeah, I need to revisit that 8-second pitch mission statement, but it really is about
get off
fun.
the couch, Dad. But
Yes.
it's actually that message. I feel is lost on a lot of people these days. Is you work so hard, you spend time in traffic doing whatever you have to do, and you get home from work and you're done. It is really hard to set a good example to children around exercising.
I think what we learned last season was that Friday night session, people look forward to it. They're excited about it. They're finishing school and they're excited about kicking the weekend off with sport. And
That's
it's
interesting.
great.
Instead of kicking the weekend off with beer, you kick it. Do you know what I used to love? Right, we'd play football on a Saturday afternoon, and 5 o'clock would hit. So you'd run around for 90 minutes, you'd be knackered, and then the first thing you'd do is have a beer when you came off. You don't do that, do you?
No. You jump in the water and go for a run.
That's classic. So that is that how the triathlon club got started again, or was there other things that you were doing?
Oh, I think there was the interest in doing things like aquathons or triathlons, and there's always an interest in the Ironmans, which is the ultimate place to get to. I was
wondering when we'll get to that.
Yes, it's got to come up. So that's the Golden Fleece. That's the prize. That's the hardest thing you're probably going to do in triathlons, which is a 3.8k swim, 180k ride, and followed by a full marathon, a 42k run.
That's just ridiculous. Say it again. 3.8ks.
So 3.8k swim, 180k bike ride, and then a 42.2 k.
So the run's the last one.
Yeah,
I can't imagine. I could reckon I could swim a k. Like if I really had to. At the pool, you go down, you do 20 laps, and that's a k. And you kind of like, well, that was all right. It wasn't great, but it's all right. 3.8k.
To back that up with 4 times that pretty much, and then straight off that, and then a ride with there was some pretty steep hills in there actually.
So hang on, we'll go back. Scott recently competed in, is it the Australian Ironman? What is it? Oh, there you go. This Ironman Australia,
Port Macquarie on the 6th of May.
Yeah. So you did that. Was it part of the club, or did you do that on your own?
We went up there. You go up and enter as individuals, but there was 12 people, which was fantastic to get 12 people to go up to Port Macquarie to do the full distance. There was 6 and about 6 doing the half distance. So really great. Men, women, fantastic.
Any nanas?
We didn't have any nanas this time.
See, that's your goal for next year. You're going to get a nana to do the Ironman.
Yeah, exactly. So now we had an absolutely fantastic time, and 10,000 calories later, we're all enjoying a beer.
Hang on. 10,000, that's what you burn?
Roughly 10,000, yeah. I think for me it worked out about 10,000 on average.
You know when you get your Garmin watch or whatever, so you got one on. After you do a run, it says you did 5Ks in 25 minutes, whatever, and it gives you 600
calorie burn.
Roughly 500 or 600 calories.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so what's that? 500 goes into 1,000 twice, so 20 times the amount of calories you burn on a 5K run. Is that right? Is that right? Roughly.
Feels like more than that. But anyway.
So, if you do 500 calories and you times that into 1,000, so that's two. And then you 10,000 calories, so 20 times.
Yeah.
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 That's a lot. That's a lot of calories.
It is. So the average calories for somebody during the day for an adult male is about 1,800. So if you think that's what you need to take in, that's what you burn, just to generally live.
Yeah, to sit on the couch and your computer or whatever it is.
So you're burning that plus you another 10,000.
So what? 5 times your? So do you eat when you're doing it?
Yeah, all the lollies, the chocolate bars,
have a fried
tuna sandwich. As you go around. Yeah, great. Anything.
Stop off. You run past the charcoal chicken.
Cucumber sandwiches and a cup of tea. Oh mate, all over it.
No, but seriously, you do eat, right? You have to.
So it's not just on the day that you're prepping for that. You're prepping for about 5 or 6 months in terms of training, but in terms of eating, working out where your body will fail, and then plugging those gaps when you're on your training sessions is really important. But coming up to that race day, a couple of weeks beforehand, you're thinking about your hydration, what you're eating, building up your salts, building up your nutrition, and then during the day, you're obviously eating right the night before and on the morning, but during the ride and the run, you're taking in fuel at regular points. So you've worked out through your ride and your run how often you need to eat and what you're going to stuff in your mouth going through the ride.
So I've got a couple of questions. The first is, right, you're an amateur, and not to say you're an amateur, but you've got a day job.
Yeah.
You go to work most days of the week, and this is your hobby.
Yeah.
Essentially. So you said for 6 months you're preparing to know.
Yeah, so you start, obviously you got your plan, and it's like a bell curve. You start off fairly straightforward. You build your base up, and then as you get through closer, you're obviously going out for a Saturday. You're out for 6 or 7 hours, so you might be doing 150, 160k on the ride, and then a quick 10k run or something like that. So that's on a Saturday. Then on a Sunday, you might end up doing something like a 24, 28, 32k run. But you're pacing it right, and you're obviously learning about what to eat throughout that 28k, 30k run to make sure that you're taking in the energy at the right time. But to your earlier point about work, that's challenging because you're exercising every day, whether it's a swim, a run, a bike and a swim, a bike and a run. You're doing something every day. So that is really challenging to fit it all in from a personal family perspective and work and then exercising.
What about an energy perspective? Like I used to go out of a morning and I'd smash myself. So I'd run for 45 minutes to an hour as fast as I can. I do that a couple of days a week or whatever. And I just found by lunchtime I was done.
Yeah.
So now I've scaled it right back. But if you're training for like a triathlon that goes for 12 hours or something like that, I imagine, you've got to be exercising for long periods on work days. How do you do it? Does it?
Well, during the week, I think I ended up doing something like between 1 and 2 hours on a day. Whether that's
so that's a not just a temporal commitment, but an energy commitment as well.
Yeah, and you are, as you get towards the middle of that training program, you are constantly tired, your food intake is ridiculous. It just goes through the roof, and you're constantly hungry.
So this isn't a poor man's sport.
No, you need the kit as well. Obviously, you need to look good in lycra.
But just to afford like your extra loaves of bread or whatever it is, extra liters of milk.
Oh no, you got to eat the right stuff, and there's protein shakes and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
That you can't just eat junk. You got to make sure you're filling your body with the right stuff. So that's important. But you got to look good as well. You got to have the lycra, you got to have the fancy bikes and the fancy shoes and all that malarkey.
This isn't a theory that I've come up with, but there is this thing that around sports, whether it's golf or fishing or running, where anything that you can analyze things, so where you're using your watches and you can figure out where to eat and all that sort of stuff. People love that. People love breaking it down into the small components, like you said, and figuring out all of the analytics.
It's learning, isn't it? Because you're building on your base, and you're thinking, well, there's lots of things you don't know what you don't know. So it's like, well, let's learn and see how you can be better, or have a better life, or enjoy yourself more, or get that buzz when you cross that line, whether it's a marathon or a half marathon or a triathlon. You feel fantastic. It's the same. Just going back to the aquathons on a Friday night. Oh my God, the kids that come across the line, the nanas that come across the line, they're ecstatic, they're smiling, the endorphins are going. It really sets you up for the weekend.
So take us to the 6th of May. You've done all of this training. You've figured out what you can eat. You've gone through a 6-month battle just to get to the day. Like, that's a significant commitment just to get there. What was the day like?
I was pretty nervous on the day. I think for me, people react in different ways. For me, I always go quiet and go into, stand at the edge of the water and by myself and just thinking about what's going to happen during the day. If I can get through the swim, which is probably my weakest leg, just take that nice and easy, get through it, and then not push too hard on the bike, make sure you got enough in your legs and eat right. It was all part of that plan. So there's a lot of learnings from other people that is so good about being in the club or having a coach to really help you through, because they've been through it before. So you try and avoid making those mistakes or novice mistakes. So the day, I was pretty nervous. Once I got through the swim and I'm out and I'm on the bike, from people that have done it before, they're saying just enjoy every second because before you know it, it's over. And
really?
So that's well,
that's like I do a 20-minute run. I'm like, don't just get it over and done with.
But it's one day, I mean, for me, it was just over 12 and a half hours, but it's gone. 5 or 6 months of training, 12 and a half hours. So enjoy every second. And running down that finish chute, it was like, oh my God, this is great.
Really? Okay. Because there's got to be something in it. Because otherwise, people wouldn't turn up year after year. They wouldn't do 6 months worth of effort. They wouldn't have put in all of the analysis. Yeah. So is it just that adrenaline rush, or is it a sense of accomplishment?
Oh, I think, like I said before, the Ironman is the number one goal. That is a long way to go. It's not just about rocking up and doing a quick race. It's it takes a lot of planning, and it's a lot of mental stamina and resilience to push yourself to get through that. There are lots of times during that day where you're thinking, or if you think the glass is half full and I can't get up this hill, or I can't do any more lap, then you're going to talk yourself out of it. So a lot comes down to your mental resilience of making sure you've been through it before in your training, you know what's coming, there's no surprises, you don't burn out, and you push yourself through it. Yeah.
It's funny because it's we started off the podcast about optimization, and really what you're saying could be a lesson applied to any part of your life.
Whether you're in business or whether you're going through school or a university, an MBA, it's all about the commitment and then working back from that and breaking it down into tactics, actions and chunks that you can manage, and then celebrating those small successes as you go along, whether it's a run, whether it's a marathon, an Ironman or an MBA, whatever it is. You just break that down into smaller chunks and celebrate the successes. How
stupid is it that we make things so complicated? But when you say it like that, it's so simple.
Keep it simple.
But it actually is really hard to do things simple.
Yeah.
Whether it is running, whether it is triathlon, people just think, I'll just turn up on the day and I'll do it. But to commit to something for 6 months, and you say it's simple, but it's actually daunting. And I shouldn't take away from people who want to go and do this, But I think I'm probably highlighting that it is a significant commitment that you have to go through.
It's a big commitment, and you do need your family support there as well. Because
so Scott's going to thank his wife now.
I am thanking Tracy and May here for my moods and mood swings, and food intake and whatever else. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
But I think we also said that it's a good example. You're demonstrating to your daughter that if you plan something, if you commit to something that's difficult, then you will reap benefits. Because I feel like we don't do enough things that are difficult.
Yeah, I think you should always have goals. You don't have to have huge goals, but if you have a goal in life, whether it's personal or with your family or whoever it is, you're moving forward. Before you know it, life's gone. The day's over. You can never relive that minute or second again. So to look back and say, wow, I've achieved certain things personally, you feel great.
It's funny. I feel like that's a common phenomenon or story that you hear from people who exercise. People who exercise have an outlook on life like that. And they're willing to, like Scott and I went to parkrun this morning. Scott didn't run, by the way, but it was freezing cold. It's 5 degrees. There was what?
It was 6 degrees and it felt like 2.
Is that what it said?
Apparently.
It was cold, but there's still 20, 30 people there.
Yes, yeah, fantastic.
A third of what's normally there. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that third of people are the people who turn up. Yeah. Regardless of whether it's cold or whether you're snuggled in bed, like you turn up, you do it because you realize that those are the days that it actually matters. It's the days you don't want to do it
and that's what's good about being in a club or a part of a group or an activity, is because you feel a sense of ownership that you've got to turn up on that Saturday morning and do the run. And it's not just you're letting down somebody else. And again, the kids, bringing them all in, and this is part of your routine and keeping fit, and it just adds to a good life, I feel.
One of the things that I've really enjoyed from parkrun is that sense of community. I was new to the area, and through parkrun I've met a lot of really fantastic people, and I assume you would say the same thing about your triathlon club.
Well, just to your point, I did exactly the same thing. We moved here just under 4 years ago, and the first thing I did was look up running clubs in the Highlands, and I came up with Barry's name again, Barry Smith.
Mate, I've got to get Barry, if you're listening. you got to come on. You've an instigator of so many things.
So I think I emailed him or texted him, and he said, "Yeah, we're just starting up parkrun in the area."
So you were there from the beginning.
So I was there from the beginning. Yeah,
there you go.
Commitment. So it's great to be involved in those groups or teams, and you meet so many other people through that it was great for us. We met lots of people.
It really makes a big difference, especially my wife and I were talking, actually not my wife and I, my mum and I. My mum came down, they got a dog from the animal shelter. They came all the way from Sydney to get a dog.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's a commitment. But they were talking about how Bowral or the Highlands isn't a small country town, but it still has that feeling of a community. It's not big enough to really, I don't know, feel like you used to live in the city, right? It does. You don't feel community, whereas here it's big enough, but you still feel community.
Yeah, it's got a good feel. You can walk down the main street and you can see people, and they know who you are. You can talk with the people in the shops and the radio and whatever else. It's really nice to have that sense of community. 100%.
Yeah, it's funny how just removing yourself by an hour and a half from the big smoke, and there's still 50,000 people here, so you can't. It's not like Kangaroo Valley where there's a couple of hundred or 1,000. So you don't know everybody, but it still is like every time I go to the shops, I would see somebody that I know.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird, but at the same time, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how long has the triathlon club been going now? Just that last season?
So we started thinking about it around September, October time last year, 2017. So we really kicked off around November. We got our plan together about what we wanted, and we got the team together, and then executed that plan with things like.
I love the plan stuff.
Man,
It's
get
just
back to get on the train tracks.
you can take the man out of the business, but you can't take the business out of the man. That's for sure.
So we looked at comms, marketing, Facebook page, website, logos, branding,
So
colours.
professional.
The colours stand for certain things. The
Hang on,
logo.
hang on. What does take us through the colours and the logo?
So we wanted purple and green. So the purple and green stands for colours that people wanted in the Highlands and associate with the Highlands.
Hang on, why do we associate purple and green with the
I don't know
Highlands?
what the purple wasn't going back. I'll have to ask one of them.
Green, maybe I can get.
Yeah,
The rolling green hills and
there was some significance of the purple.
Okay.
One of the girls wanted the purple.
Should have done your research beforehand.
That's fine. We'll go for it. The logo. If you look at the logo, the wheels of the bike represent leaves. So
No,
if you
really?
if I can, where's my logo?
I've got it on his hat. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So the green leaves of the Highlands.
There you go.
That's what we're about, you see. So we're bringing that into it.
The green leaf at the moment, I don't have any green leaves. I've got brown leaves all over my. I feel like after the last 2 days of wind, I've just got leaves everywhere. It's crazy.
And just going back to the logo, we've got the three colours. So you got the three bands. You got white, purple, and green. So that's three things.
Jeez, so much thought has
detail,
got.
yeah.
A lot of thought has gone into this. I'm actually really impressed. Like I would have just gone, start a club.
No, we had a real goal of I think we wanted by January we wanted 20 members. By June, end of June, we wanted 30 members, and that was our target. So
what have you got? Did you make the target?
Oh, we're well over that now.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
Fantastic. So really, really good. And that was part of our cross-check to ourselves to say, is there an appetite for this? Do we carry on or not? So the clearly is fantastic, and now we can start really sort of pushing, and word of mouth is obviously the best publicity that you can get, and start to grow that way.
So you put a lot of effort into starting up the club. What is your membership at now?
So we'd be up to between 45 and 50, I reckon, by now.
That is very impressive, considering it's only a year and a half roughly that it's.
No, we started in October, September
last year.
2017.
Oh, really? Sorry,
so we've been going for 9.
Not even a year.
Yeah, about 9 months.
That is very impressive. And is it built on the base of parkrun, or have people come in from all around? Or
well, we started talking with people that go to parkrun, and then building on people that are in cycling groups or other running groups, all started to help. If you can leverage off their networks as well, because you might have a 50 people that you know, then I've got 50 people. So if you can align together, you then got potentially 100 people that you can talk to and look at, leveraging too. So building on that, we then went out to look at, well, what sort of sponsors would we like to align to? Which is really important. So we've got the source for nutrition. We've got the athlete's foot for
he's got to get
running.
these right.
Got to get these in. And I do thank you for those.
No, get them in for sure.
The fixed wheel was very, very good. It helped us.
So is that the one opposite on the other side of the railway?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the estate called? Can you remember what it's called?
No.
Sherwood Village, I think it is. They're in Sherwood Village. So the fixed wheel, they've been really, really supportive. And thanks to John, he helped with the cost towards the T-shirts and the merchandise and the hats and the logos. So really thank you to that for him. We've also got Capital Chemist, obviously for all your
bandages,
pains and sprains and the rest of it, in Bowral, Capital Chemist Bowral. And we've got AP10 and On Track as coaches for us.
Hang on, who's AP10? What do they do?
So AP stands for Alex Price. 10, he's got a coaching business in Wollongong, but Scott Connolly is also based up here in the Highlands, and he works for On Track, and he's been helping us with coaching a few people in the Highlands. He actually
physical coaching or business coaching or life coaching
for triathlon coaching.
Ah, really?
Yes.
On Track. Okay, cool.
So he's on Station Street, I think, On Track. Yeah.
Hang on, just down the road.
Yeah, the corner opposite the vets.
Ah, yeah. Okay, cool.
So they've been good. And actually, Scott Connolly, just to throw it out there, he came third in his age group at the full distance Ironman 5 weeks ago.
The 21 to 30-year-old age group?
Actually, no, what is he? I think he's 30. He's in the 30 bracket.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was making fun of him, but he's probably a very fit individual who's probably very good at what he does.
He's very good, yeah. Yeah, very good.
No, that's really awesome. I'm very impressed that you're able to get along such a fantastic group of businesses to help you because... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it was really nice to get the support because we've got different elements there. You've got obviously food and nutrition, you've got the coaching, you've got the bike side, you've got the running side all covered, and then obviously the chemist side covered. But when we went out to the potential sponsors, it wasn't about just give us some money and thank you very much. It's about a mutually beneficial relationship. So we've got to support them as much as they're supporting us. So hopefully people will go into the bike shop and get the bike serviced, and people will go into the Capital Chemist at Bowral and start to use them. So it is a two-way street really to help build economic viability in the Highlands.
That's a really interesting segue that through a triathlon club you're making the place better.
Because if we can all help
really
each other,
thinking bigger than yourself. That's fantastic.
It is 1 and 1 is 3. If we can help each other,
hang on. You're gonna have to explain that one to me. 1 and 1 is 3.
Well, if you go out there and you try to do something by yourself as an individual, then yes, clearly you're going to make some traction. But if you can align with others, and like I said earlier, if you've got 50 people that you know, I've got 50 people that I know. If I go out by myself, I can only talk to those 50 people. But together, we can align and you can talk to 100 people. So 1 on 1, you're getting more value from it than you are by simply doing it yourself.
Yeah, okay.
That was my analogy.
I think it's really cool that you are you have that vision of that a triathlon club you associate with people in Lycra going up Oxley Hill or the Jib or whatever. But it's not just about the ride or the run or the swim. It's about health,
community, health, fun. That word.
Pitch.
The fun is above all. It really has to be fun, because if you go out there just to win, then that can be quite dull. I don't know, because it's so focused.
180k ride doesn't sound very fun. That's the thing that's put me off triathlons is the bike ride. The swim. Well, yeah, that doesn't sound like that much fun as it is, but that would be all right. The run, sure, but 180k's. And like I said, I end up in hospital enough.
Well, we are talking about the ultimate. So obviously, if you scale backwards, there are tries, where you just literally get in the water, dip, you get wet, and then have a run, and a bike ride and a run. So there's all sorts of different levels, and it's great just to get in there and give it a go. Yeah,
I think lots of people see exercise and they see that it's not fun because it can suck. Those days where you just go, I call them battle days, where it's not fun, it's just a battle. Yeah. Actually, most of my park run these days are just battle days. So I turn up and I'm just gonna get through it. But there is times when it is fun, when it all just aligns, and the run you feel like you're running to a beat. Or whatever it is, you actually start to enjoy yourself.
It's fun because, just this morning we put a post on Facebook about, all of us standing there in the freezing cold at Park Run. But, you post that on Facebook, and then other running groups. We've got the Runners Boutique that also supports us in Moss Vale, and they were out this morning. And
what's the Runners Boutique?
So they're a little shop in Moss Vale, and they sell really, really great quality shoes, socks, lycra, kits, all your gels, all your goos, all your nutrition, all that sort of stuff. So they're really, really good.
And are they out running as well?
They were out running this morning. So they hit the cold as well.
I met a gentleman at the dentist last week, and he does rides for cancer.
Oh, okay.
So I mentioned that there's a triathlon club, and I'll put you in touch with him. He said,
"Yeah. Remember, 1 and 1 is 3."
My maths won't be the same. But it's funny because that's kind of what I'm trying to do here with HighCast. Is I looked around and I saw you got 2ST and Highland FM here and the newspaper, but no one was doing like long form stories where you can get in depth. and find out. Like if you do something on a radio program, you might have 5 minutes. You don't really get to find out about, what is it that you want? What's the real reason?
What's the guts of it?
Yeah, and why is community so important? Why is fun so important? I've forgotten the third one. Nanas. Why is it so important to have nanas? Because
health, family, fun.
Yeah, but it is actually really important that in the Highlands we have this, and no one's really connecting this yet. There's a really we have this unique ability to bring old and young people together.
Yeah.
One of the best things I ever did was when my grandfather was slowly passing away. I read to him. I went to his hospital bed and I read to him once a week, and it was one of the best things that I've ever done. And hearing stories from him about going to war or whatever the stories were, I got that opportunity to hear things that I would never have known ever happened. And we could. In the Highlands, we could do things like that. We could connect old and young people together to learn and build that experience. And I don't think we take those opportunities. And through places like triathlon clubs, you can bring people old and young together to share a common experience.
I think it is a common experience, and it's also very balancing because there's all sorts of people that come to the club, whether you're in business, whether you're running your own shop. We've got a minister who comes to the club and is also a member, but you got anybody, and it's a great leveler because you're on the same page, sweating. And
the minister, the minister is a state minister.
Yeah,
he's my boss actually.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm listening every day.
I shouldn't give too much away, but I ran past him at parkrun one day. And I probably shouldn't be right. Before he let him win.
Yeah.
There you go. But it is cool that we have, and that's other things that people don't realise. Like we've got a member of parliament who lives in our area who actually has some real political clout.
And he still finds time to run and do an Ironman.
Yes, but he can be a real positive reflection of the Highlands, and every time.
Totally. Yeah.
And so it's really important to have, good people who are doing good things, because he can go, well, look at what the Highlands is doing. There's triathlon clubs, there's parkrun, there's all of these other community organisations that are trying to do the right thing for the community. It's just a really good reflection, a reflection of us. So what do you reckon you'd be doing? Like, you spend a significant amount of time and effort on this. What would you be doing if it wasn't triathlon?
Gosh, probably driving down to Robertson pastry shop and drinking coffee and eating those jam donuts, because he makes some good jam and custard donuts.
Really? Should put a plug in. I don't know the Robertson pastry shop.
He's got, I can't remember the name of the shop now, but it's the patisserie on the main street opposite the pub. He does do some great pastries down there. Yeah, he's only open, I think, three maybe 4 days a week.
Well, it's that good. He doesn't even. It's like Sunday.
He opens Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think. Yeah.
There's a joke in the SES, like, I don't get out of bed for less than 10,000 jobs, and he's for less than 10,000 pastries. I don't get out of bed. You're not a gardener. You're not a.
Oh, look, I like my motorbikes. I think you can see a lot more when you're in motorbike riding around the Highlands. Beautiful country. A day like today is a bit cold, but if it's got a blue sky, sun's out, oh my gosh, just driving around or riding around is fantastic.
Is it like home? So I gather from the accent that you're not native.
From England, in the country, in Yorkshire, and we lived in a pretty similar type of area to Bowral. Prior to living in Bowral, we're in Sydney, and it never quite fit, never quite sort of aligned. But anyway, here you got a lot more room. You wake up, you see the trees, you see the hills, and going for a walk or bushwalk and all that sort of stuff is great. The
only thing, I said this to my wife last night, the only thing I miss, I've got all of these deciduous trees on my property, and I like them, but I grew up on the northern side of Sydney, around Ku-ring-gai and Hornsby, around that national park area, and I miss the gum trees. I really miss that native Australian bush that I don't have at my doorstep like I used to. That's the only thing I miss. Oh, and I was only 45 minutes from the beach there. It's a little bit far from the beach here.
Yeah, I think we prefer the countryside to the beach. It's fantastic when you can get the right beach, but I think for us, growing up in the countryside and jumping in the mud and the puddles and running around all that stuff.
Is your daughter Australian? Was she born here?
She was 3 when we came here. Yeah, but she's
dual
got
citizen.
she's got the Australian accent.
Oh,
now.
really? Does it make you make you cringe?
Cringe. Oh my god.
I once worked with a woman from Brazil, and she'd been all around the world. And she said the Australians were the hardest to understand because we spoke English, but we didn't speak English. And it took her a good 6 months to figure it out. It's so funny how we speak the same language, but it's just... Actually, are you following the World Cup?
Oh, no.
No, please tell me you're not. You're an Englishman who
well,
doesn't follow football.
I did see an advert. Oh, sorry, it was again a photograph on Facebook, which wasn't particularly promising. It had the English team on a coach driving into the short stay car park in England. I thought,
that's just a good meme. A good meme for the internet. Did you didn't see Portugal Spain this morning?
No, I didn't. No, I haven't been watching.
Ronaldo scored a cracker of a free kick. And there's a gentleman from Spain called Nacho, and it's just the best name ever, scored a cracker. It was a really good game to watch. Sorry, my phone's going off. There's a few little emergencies going around at the moment. There is a house down the south coast where a tree's gone through a house and it's unlivable. And they've got some animals that need some care. So I'm just monitoring that as the world goes by. You can never really leave your day job behind. So,
good.
How do people find out about the Triathlon Club?
So we've got the website, which gives you the basic information. It also has a link that takes you through to join Tri New South Wales. And this is a bit of not a sales pitch for them at all. But if you join now, I think you get 15 months rather than just 12 months for the same price. So that's pretty good. But the best place to go to find out about the Highlands Triathlon Club is on the Facebook page, because that's pretty dynamic. There's stuff going up there all the time, or just send a message through, and Barry or I will respond to that. Pretty sharpish. We've got a good response rate.
Yeah, my response rate's getting terrible. People do Facebook, and I'm like, well, I've got work, and I got this, and I got that. Facebook's really. If it wasn't for HighCast, I wouldn't have a Facebook account. It's weird.
Yeah, you got to keep on top of it and manage it, but it can get overwhelming. But you got to just put it on hold and make sure you manage your time. So
highlandstriathlon.com.au,
I think it's just .com.au.
Yep.
But again, the best place to go is Facebook.
So I just type in Highlands Triathlon Club.
Highlands Tri Club and
Tri Club.
Whatever this is, Highlands Triathlon Club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just type that into Facebook. You can't go wrong. Look for the leaves on the bike logo.
And you're not currently meeting at the moment?
So after Port Macquarie, obviously that's a big one, and we've gone into winter. So we're sort of taking a natural break. I think we'll start thinking about opening up when the pool opens up again, and get the aquas on. So October time, I think we'll start off really pushing it quite strongly and get those back on. But in the meantime, there are some duathlons in Berry. There's some triathlons around the south coast. So there's plenty of events that are on. It's just a little bit chilly at the minute around here.
Yeah, okay. So you can still join the club.
For sure, yeah.
Is anyone going to be going to those events? So I don't want to have people's expectations sort of...
Yeah, I think, look, over the next couple of months, 3 months, I think the attendance at those tries, with it not being full season at the minute, I think there'll be a few that go, but it won't be full bore. Coming to October time, then I think it'll really start ramping up. Training will come back on a Saturday for cycling, and then we normally do a Wednesday evening run. And get people together, and then obviously throughout the season we'll be having a few social get-togethers with barbecues and different things. So it'll be great to look forward to.
Awesome. Well, when you're ready, when you're coming into season, let me know, and I'll talk about it here for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Put it on. You can go to the HighCast website, highcast.com.au. I've got a little promotions page. You can find out more about what Anthony is doing at Bright Spenders, what John Major's doing with his paddock to plate tours, and I'll put something up there about the Triathlon Club when they're They're ready to go. This has been Scott Inman. Actually, you know what? I forgot to do. It's not Scott Inman. It's Scott Ironman. I missed it. I went the whole podcast without even doing it.
That's what my Strava says.
Yeah. I did see it, and I was like, I've got to introduce that at the very beginning. Who's coming up next? I found out that there is a group in the Highlands that sends people across to Africa on charity work. So that is going to be our next guest, the Barbara May Foundation. Until then, see you next time.